The college football world just cannot catch a break. In just the span of a few days, the greatest coach of all time, Nick Saban, retires, and then former Washington head coach Kalen DeBoer becomes the new head coach at Alabama. We've also seen tons of Alabama players transfer out, and most of them are yet to determine where they will go. But one guy that stands out is five-star receiver Isaiah Bond, who was a huge loss for Alabama as he was one of their top receivers this year. But not only did he hit the transfer portal, he just recently announced the team where he will be transferring to. But we also just seen one of the best quarterbacks in the transfer portal completely shock everyone with the decision that he has just made. There's a lot going on with college football, but don't you worry because I am still here to post daily videos for this whole offseason to keep everybody hyped up for the start of the 2024 season. But we are still a long ways away from the start of next season. So it is going to be a long 7 months. But if you guys love college football, then you will love this channel because we basically cover everything on this channel. So definitely consider subscribing. And also don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. But let's get into some of the big news around college football because there's a lot to talk about. And just yesterday, it was announced that one of the biggest names out of the transfer portal just transferred to the Miami Hurricanes. And you may be wondering who that big name is. And if you paid attention to the thumbnail or the title of the video, then you know who I was talking about. Yes, obviously I'm talking about Cam Ward. Just 2 weeks ago, he declared himself for the NFL draft, and it seemed like he had no plans to transfer to another school. But some people may question his decision to transfer to the Miami Hurricanes. Why did he choose Miami, you may ask? And we all are wondering what made him transfer to Miami. But even before he declared for the NFL draft, he was already heavily rumored to go to Miami. And I was shocked when he first declared for the NFL draft because he hasn't really gotten his chance to prove himself as one of the better quarterbacks in college football. There's no denying that Cam Ward is a very talented quarterback, but his decision to declare for the NFL draft was questionable because his draft stock wasn't necessarily great and he was going to be a day 2 or day 3 pick. And I figured Cam Ward would come back one more season to prove himself because he's a very talented quarterback and he had very limited tools at Washington State and he did not have the team around him. His offensive line was terrible this past season, and he was always running out of the pocket to make almost every play. But anybody who knows college football knows Cam Ward is a good quarterback. And if he goes to a good program that could give him what he needs, which is a good system and a good team to work with, then he will be good. But the question roaming around may be, why did he choose a school like Miami that has been very average the last couple years? Cam Ward isn't just your average quarterback. He was the 3rd highest rated quarterback in the transfer portal according to 24/7 Sports. And the transfer portal class isn't filled with mediocre quarterbacks. We have seen big name quarterbacks like Dylan Gabriel and Dante Moore transfer to the Oregon Ducks. We've also seen Will Howard transfer to Ohio State. Aiden Childs transferred to Michigan State. Former 5-star quarterback out of high school Malachi Nelson recently transferred to Boise State. DJ Uiagalelei also transferred to Florida State. And of course, we also seen Riley Leonard transfer to Notre Dame. So it's impressive to me that Miami was able to pick up one of the top quarterbacks in the transfer portal after coming off a 7-6 season where you had a pretty bad loss to Rutgers to end the season. You know, maybe this wasn't the best choice for Cam Ward. Maybe he could have went to a bigger program. But if you really look, most of those bigger schools have already picked up quarterbacks. Oregon, Ohio State, Notre Dame, and Florida State. Those are some of the bigger schools. And they've already picked up quarterbacks out of the transfer portal. So if you really look at it, there wasn't really many places for Cam Ward to go. I mean, Michigan could use a quarterback because today it was announced that both J.J. McCarthy and running back Blake Corum has declared for the NFL draft. So I don't know who will start at quarterback for Michigan next year. And Michigan might be a little bit worse next year. But that's a video for another day. But obviously Cam Ward didn't go to Michigan and he ended up going to Miami. And this is a really good pickup for Miami. And maybe this works out. But Miami is still yet to take that next step. But they have done an excellent job at recruiting the last couple years. And they have also managed to get one of the best recruiting classes this year. And maybe with picking up Cam Ward, they will finally take that next step. Because having a good quarterback is always a huge factor of being a successful team. But I really hope the best for Cam Ward. He truly is a special player. And I want to see him succeed at Miami. So if I have any Miami fans on this channel, all I'm saying is you just picked up a very good quarterback. And I hope it's the right system for him. And hopefully you can have the team to back him up. Cam Ward seems to like the decision to go to Miami, and let me just pull up real quick what he had to say about the whole situation. He said, and I quote, "I think an ACC championship and getting into the college football playoffs is possible. If you go back and watch their film from this past season, they have a great recruiting class and they also have a great transfer portal group coming in Miami. The team that they're putting together, I thought it'd be one of the best things in the country once we put it together in spring ball and fall camp." Now that wasn't the best written paragraph, but you guys get what he's saying. Cam Ward could completely be lying. But it does look like he really believes in this Miami team. And to be honest, I believed in them when the season started. But the coaching was pretty bad this year, and they ended up having a pretty bad season for a team I expected to be a lot better. But I wouldn't be surprised if Miami turned things around and was near the top of the ACC, because they have all the talent, but now it's just about how they play on the field. But let's just say Cam Ward was a great addition. So you guys let me know down in the comments below how you feel about Cam Ward transferring to Miami. But speaking of big news around college football, I haven't really talked about the hiring of Kalen DeBoer yet on this channel. I talked about the rumors of him going to Alabama, and all those rumors ended up being true in the end. And look, it's going to be impossible to replace a prestigious coach like Nick Saban, but I really like the choice of hiring Kalen DeBoer. Kalen DeBoer has proven himself as a winner in everything he does, and I hate to admit it, as an Oregon fan, but he's 3-0 against Dan Lanning, and he's done everything at Washington with little resources and still ended up leading them to their first national championship since the early 1990s, and he has proven himself as a winner at every single level. And not only is he 3-0 against Dan Lanning and the Oregon Ducks, but he's also 2-0 against Steve Sarkisian and the Texas Longhorns. So if there's anybody out there who wanted Dan Lanning or Steve Sarkisian, I'm just saying the resume doesn't lie, and Kalen DeBoer actually might have been the best option for Alabama football. Maybe Steve Sarkisian and Dan Lanning have brighter futures at their programs. They are both building their own dynasties, and Dan Lanning is only 37, and he has a lot more to learn. And Steve Sarkisian is also new to being a head coach at this level. But Kalen DeBoer has been a head coach for a while now, and he's 104-12, and he's won multiple national championships in Division II football. The SEC football is going to be a completely different experience for Kalen DeBoer, and maybe it plays a factor that he has never coached in the South, and it will be a lot tougher competition in the SEC, definitely with Texas and Oklahoma joining. And also in year one at Alabama, Kalen DeBoer and Alabama will have that regular season game against Georgia. So that will be a big test for Kalen DeBoer. But let me tell you, I think Alabama football is going to be just fine. And the ceiling of Alabama football may still be a national championship. And if you really look at it, Kalen DeBoer beat Texas, the team that beat Alabama by double digits on the road this past season. And Kalen DeBoer did everything with less resources at Washington. And imagine of what he will be capable of doing at Alabama. It will be very interesting to see what Kalen DeBoer accomplishes. And Nick Saban doesn't seem to be disappointed in the hiring either. I wasn't able to find out exactly what he said again. I read something earlier, but I lost it. But basically he stated that he wished Kalen DeBoer in Alabama the best of luck. And he said Kalen DeBoer should be the perfect guy for the job. But in my opinion, I don't think you guys could have asked for a better replacement. And Kalen DeBoer should be a great leader. And honestly, what I'm about to say is kind of random, but Kalen DeBoer kind of has a similar personality to Nick Saban. They are both very serious in everything they do. And when they are on the field, they are focused and have a straight face 99% of the time. And this isn't a joke, but I legitimately have never seen Kalen DeBoer really smile when he's actually coaching in games and he's locked in on the field. I really think Kalen DeBoer is going to take this head coaching job very seriously at Alabama, and I really wish the best of luck for Kalen DeBoer. He's an amazing coach, and I believe he will do a good job. And I know I'm an Oregon fan praising Kalen DeBoer, and I know the Washington-Oregon hate runs deep, but at the end of the day, all I'm doing is being realistic and being honest. And at the end of the day, I don't really hate on teams, even if Washington is supposed to be our biggest rival. I pay more attention to my Oregon Ducks, and Oregon has a bright future, but so does Kalen DeBoer. But Washington, maybe not so much. But like I said, I'm not hating, and I'm still wishing the best to every team. And I'm wishing the best to this Washington team, because they worked for everything they earned this season. And they beat Oregon fair and square twice, and I can completely admit that. And yes, I'm an Oregon Ducks fan. But I love college football in general. And I try to stay out of all the rivalry hate. And as a college football content creator, I'm going to look at the bigger picture. And I'm simply going to be honest with my fans, because I wouldn't be making videos if I didn't have fans. I know I'm just kind of ranting, but we are still talking college football, and ball is life. But before we wrap up this video, I wanted to continue talking about Alabama football. And I'm done talking about Kalen DeBoer, but I wanted to talk about Isaiah Bond, who is a 5-star receiver who just transferred out of Alabama after the departure of Nick Saban. Just earlier this morning, he announced his decision on what team he was going to transfer to. And if any of you keep up with the news around college football, you know Isaiah Bond was a big-time loss for Alabama football. He was one of the best receivers on the team, and when you lose the best head coach in college football, of course you're going to have guys transfer out. But Isaiah Bond did end up transferring to the Texas Longhorns. This is big news for the Texas Longhorn fan base, because let me just tell you that you guys just picked up a big-time playmaker at wide receiver, and he was the second highest-rated player in the transfer portal, and he was one of the few 5-stars that were actually in the transfer portal as well. So this was definitely a great addition to the team. And the future is looking very bright for the Texas Longhorns, and I wish you guys the best of luck in the SEC. But anyways, I am kind of new to making these types of news and reporting videos, but they are fun, and I'm trying to get better at them, and I'll keep you guys updated with everything around the college football world as much as I can. But the next couple days, I should have videos giving my predictions for the SEC, Big Ten, and also the ACC and Big 12. So be sure to tune in for those videos if you want some way too early predictions for the next college football season. But anyways, that's going to do it for the video. Be sure to like the video and also subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. And if you guys love college football, then you will love this channel because we post daily college football content and we basically cover everything on this channel. So definitely consider dropping a sub. But that's going to do it, guys, and peace out.